Kicking it off. Kicking it off.
I
What?
see what you did there.
What did I
Kicking
do?
it off. You're
Kicking it
kicking
off.
off.
We're out here. We're gonna kick it off. Let's kick it off. Should that be our slogan? We're gonna do it. Ready? Let's kick it off. Sorry, I ruined it.
Boom.
I ruined it.
That
Okay.
was rough. Finals are done. We know
Yep.
who's in the finals,
Yep.
and it is a all Mexican affair in the final.
It is. It is. It is. It is. So let's dive in. First game, Tigres versus Nashville. Now, I was hoping, with all things considered, that this was going to be a little bit more of a showdown, but whatever. Now, here's the interesting thing about this to give everybody kind of a background. So Tigres right now, Mexico, the Mexican League, Liga MX, they're in La Liguilla, which is like the tournament for the season. Quick rundown of what that means. The Mexican League does two tournaments or two sessions, an opening and a closing. At the end of each session, they top 8 teams, they go into La Liguilla, which is like mini tournament. And this miniature tournament is 2 games. Whoever wins on aggregate advances. Tigres is out. They are confirmed to be out of La Liguilla, so they're not doing too bad. So I was expecting more from Nashville.
Yeah, so this is the second leg. Tigres is winning in the first leg. This was a very interesting, like, just happening. They just clashed together. I don't understand why you give a yellow card to someone there. I got to see this again, but if I recall last time.
It just wouldn't sit down for him. He
wanted to
hit it on the half volley first time, but he couldn't do it.
That wasn't even a...
Oh, I think he did it
that guy.
For the previous. I think he did it for, like, hitting that guy in the face. I don't know.
I think it was the second guy.
Was it the second guy?
I think it was the second guy. He straight up just
swinging for the ball. I know it looked kind of reckless, but
here it is. Here
anyway.
it is. Oh no, never mind. This is a different
one. Definitely a foul. So, but I think Nashville would be disappointed that they don't have a goal in that first half.
Yeah.
In this first half here, in aggregate, Tigres is winning 1-0. They got the away goal advantage, and obviously they're leading.
Yeah.
And then at halftime, I think Nashville really, they had some chances there. It was kind of sloppy all around anyway, kind of a sloppy match. But we'll see here shortly, just kind of Tigres assert their dominance and come out with the win.
So a couple of stats here. Nashville did have more possession. They had 52% possession. But
here it is. Here it is. That was a good shot fake.
Tigres had a higher goal ratio or goal opportunity chance for the entire game. But homeboy has his shirt off and everything. He was...
Look what it means to him.
Man, he was feeling it out there.
Good goal by Brunetta.
Overall passing accuracy, both teams had about 84%, around the 340 to 360 pass range completed. Shots was 8 from Tigres, 7 from Nashville. Shots outside the box, Nashville had more. Nashville also had more passes on their own half.
I do think it's interesting at this point in time, if Nashville were to score 2 goals, they'd be through on away goals.
But they scored 2? Yeah.
Yeah, they just scored 2 here. Like, they'd be through.
Yeah. But I'm like, okay. And we're obviously going to get to it in this whole thing. But, like, Nashville is a good enough team to have, like, competed against Tigres. I don't know if maybe the getting to, like, that final, like, semifinals, finals range of games that the MLS teams just either struggle or just don't perform as well. I don't really know what it is, but
I don't know
we're
either.
gonna look at the ratings here in a little bit. It's been Mexico every single time, and I kept saying this, and I believed it myself. I actually thought an MLS team was gonna win it this year, and both
Yeah.
teams got knocked out in the semifinals. So
Yeah. And one was in a commanding position with LAFC.
yeah,
Now, Nashville was kind of, they're kind of behind already, but you still kind of figured like, okay, they're a decent team. They're doing well in the Eastern Conference in terms of like MLS, just
right.
in general in MLS. They played all right in the playoffs last season. So, um, but yeah,
So
Tigres, just the better team across 2 matches,
yeah,
makes it to the finals.
so they advance. And then this, which brings us to our next game, Toluca versus LAFC. Both really good teams. Toluca's ranked first overall in the continent, technically speaking. They might have dropped a little bit since then, just because right now I think they're seated like sixth in Liga MX. But with that being said, right,
Then this needs to be a goal. Look at that.
this is
That
like
needs to be a goal. Like, how are you missing that?
this is the stuff I'm talking about. Like LAFC was a threatening team. I mean,
And
so is
then
Toluca, but
Lloris,
come on.
I've been saying this. I've been saying this for months. Lloris has saved LAFC more points
Now there goes
and
again.
kept them in more matches
Yeah.
than I think any other maybe keeper in history in the short amount of time he's been there.
I'm curious. I'm curious what his rating was here. He just
Hit the
he just
post
had
there,
3 saves
so.
in the span of like
Yeah.
30 seconds of a highlight.
That one hit the post, but he did have like 4 or 5 saves in the first half. This was a nice set play. That was a very nice set play that they had.
Surprisingly, he had a low rating in this game.
Yeah. Well, when you give up 4 goals, I think
Yeah, yeah. I
goalkeeper's
guess
always
that's true.
gonna have-
That's true.
always gonna have a low rating there. But look, like LAFC is in a good spot right here, right?
Yep.
They survived the first half onslaught. They have a halftime to kind of compose themselves and then come out in the second half.
And
a little bit
they're
more
only down by one.
dangerous. Yep.
And they're only down by one. One goal makes them
And they give up a
advance.
penalty. And they give up a penalty in the first 2 minutes.
Mm.
Yep.
So now
So
it's
probably that halftime talk probably unraveled when that happened.
mm-hmm.
And then from there, I think it just got bad to worse for LAFC.
Yeah.
And then Toluca really probably just smelled blood in the water,
Yeah. And then this
Who's
run.
the team that has the Sharks in Mexico?
Veracruz.
Veracruz.
Yep.
All right. So Toluca's not the Sharks, but still.
No. But this
That was
was
such a good pass.
yeah.
I don't
This
know if that
I
was a
thought
penalty or
I
not.
thought that was a penalty. When I reviewed
Yeah.
it, I kept watching it over and over again. I thought that was a penalty.
But they just keep giving up the ball in the midfield.
Yeah.
And then
that was
the
an
rocket.
incredible strike.
That's a rocket. Everardo. What a hit.
Jeez, man.
Yeah, Lloris can only look at that one. That's all he can do.
Oh, you can't look.
Luanga, he had an off match. Son really didn't pop up in the highlights at all, other than giving up the ball actually and then getting scored on. But they just keep going forward,
Dude, the Lucas team was
Luka just
all
felt
in the
like
green.
they were gonna win
Their entire team was in the
off the
green.
post. That should have been a goal right there. So they should be up 3-0, and then look how easy it is.
Yeah, at that point, that one right there.
He gave up on the play.
He gave up on the play.
Oh
That
my
defender
gosh.
it looked like he just gave up. That to me was
Yep.
just him giving up. Because that ball rolled right in front of him like that. It was right in front of him. He could have at least passed it to the goalie. He could have stopped the ball. Nothing. And you can see how disappointed he
would-
looked.
Yeah, you got to assume there's a guy behind you waiting for
Yeah.
you to not touch that. And then Paulinho scores a
Yep.
rocket of a goal there as well. So he has 2. He scored 2 goals in 2 minutes. If I check again.
Did he have a brace or just a
Yeah, a brace. He had 2 goals in 2 minutes. in the 90th, second, and the 94th.
Yeah.
So, that's just when LAFC, that second half is something to forget for LAFC because
Yeah.
it was going well. They played 1.5 good matches, and then they lost in the last half.
So ultimately, sadly to say, Toluca destroyed LAFC.
It is
So
what it
it
is.
is what it is. Both LAFC is out, Toluca advances. Nashville is out, Tigres advance. So this is the final game that they're going to be playing. I think it's a one game scenario here. Fact check
Yep.
me if you will here, Emra, but
One match they play at Toluca,
and
which I feel like the final should be played at a neutral venue,
that's what I think
but
too.
maybe it's just something to do with scheduling, things like that.
I think
You
it's
just
ranking too. I think it's like the higher ranked team will get the advantage of getting to play at home, but I don't know.
yeah, but I feel like once you get to the final, like every other tournament, it's cleared. It's just like we're playing at a neutral venue.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think this begs the question: Liga MX, the teams at least, well, the league in general, but I guess we're talking about the teams.
Hmm.
Just perform better in knockout tournament style than the MLS teams.
That's the thing. Like
That's
I'm
my
like
read. That's my
that's
read.
what I'm understanding
They
too.
just play better across 2 matches than their opponent,
Yeah. I mean,
which I think maybe comes down to them. Well, MLS has the playoffs as well. I was gonna
that's
say it's because they have a section of their league that's like a tournament, but like it's pretty much the same thing in the MLS, right? Where you played the
yeah.
whole season and then all of a sudden you go into playoffs
I don't
if you're
know
good
if
enough.
they're just more comfortable with it. It could be a thing that they just
Maybe.
been doing it longer. So like cuz they've been doing this way longer than the MLS has, the like playoffs, that they're just more comfortable with that type of like in scenario. And I think like we mentioned this one time and I really believe this. There's teams that are good like a flat out seasonal thing,
Yeah,
and then there's that same team cannot perform when it
when the
comes down to
pressure's
like
like,
a
well,
like a
you gotta
knockout
win one game.
or tournament.
Yeah, yeah,
It's not the same thing.
it's
Last
not.
year it was who won the season last year for the MLS, right? It wasn't Inter Miami, but then Inter Miami won
Yeah,
the overall. I think it was Philadelphia. I
the
can't
MLS
remember anymore.
Cup. Yeah,
Inter Miami wins the MLS Cup, right?
yeah.
So going back to this, if we look back all the way back to 2008, 2009 season, one U.S. team won the CONCACAF Champions League or Cup. Obviously, they rebranded recently, so now it's called a Cup. But back then, it was
Yep.
Seattle. Seattle was the only team in 2022 who won the CONCACAF Champions Cup.
Coming from the MLS. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
and
yeah,
so
Liga MX really dominates CONCACAF.
mhm.
Either league style or cup style, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you call it. Liga MX teams are probably going to win it. Whether it's Cruz Azul, whether it's Tigres this year, or
Yeah,
if it's going to be Toluca this year. But uh, for the moment, the Liga MX teams are just dominating
yeah.
and have been.
Yeah. And they're not even the I'll call it the name brand Mexican teams, right? Like your Cruz Azul, it's not your America. Right now Toluca's on a kind of a bender. They were doing well, they're out too. They're out too.
Yeah.
Tigres and Toluca are out of their tournaments in the Liga MX. So that'll drop them a couple of rankings, but I mean they're still good teams as of now.
Yes.
It's just America's a little bit in a slump. They're not very good. I've said this before. They're not a good team this year. Not as much as I'd like for them to be. I'm even surprised they got as far as they did, and I think almost beat Nashville. But your Cruz Azul, your Tigres, your Monterrey, or not Tigres, sorry, your Cruz Azul, your America, your Monterrey. Those teams are
Yeah.
not there. You're looking at your Tigres and your Toluca. Yeah, it's just gonna be a bunch of Mexican teams winning this thing. But I have hope for the future that MLS teams will end up winning this more often, and that table that I showed you is going to look more balanced out with more U.S. teams. Hopefully, one day that comes to fruition.
We'll see.
All right, that's it.
I'm curious when eventually a USL team will have enough points to qualify, or
Oh, can you imagine?
how their journey would be
Look,
to get into CONCACAF. I'm pretty sure it has to do with their coefficient, their club ranking in the nation, or not the nation, but like
yes,
the continent. So
yeah,
I think it would eventually have to take like a USL team to probably win the Open Cup.
yes.
Probably to win the Open Cup would be what would get them into CONCACAF, I
That
think.
would be the only. I think that's the only way right now is winning
Yeah.
the Open Cup. It would be the only way for a USL team to get to
I
the
think
CONCACAF.
the closest this year were the Colorado Springs
Wasn't
Switchbacks. They went to penalties with Colorado FC, Colorado Rapids of the MLS, and then Louisville also, or one Nashville. No, one Nashville got stomped. Louisville was also pretty close. So getting there. I think that gap might be closing, maybe.
mm-hmm.
You know, a lot of people will probably say like, "Oh, MLS is playing their second string team or a lot of their reserves or even academy players." But I mean, hey, results are results.
Still, yeah, still.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna pull up the results of what it looked like. I know you can't really see some of these because of the back of our screens, but I mean, you're looking at the two towers of Liga MX on this side, and then the MLS on the other side. And
Yeah.
so, with that being said, this is where a team would qualify, and the USL
Yeah.
team would qualify into the Champions Cup.
That makes sense.
But only time will tell, and nothing's really impossible.
Mm-hmm.
It just it just got to
You
take
got
a
to
team
win
to
that
do
cup to go into another cup.
it. Yeah.
Kind of like those like little Russian dolls.
Yeah.
It's a cup inside a cup.
You open it up, there's another one in. Open it up,
There's another cup
one
you
in.
got to play.
Open it up, and there's another one in. So follow us as we unfold all these little Russian cups moving forward. But May 30th is the final match. So stay tuned on it. Toluca versus Tigres. It's still really important to know who's going to win that, just because one, historically, is Toluca gonna get another one? I think they have two. Tigres, I think, has 4 or 5 maybe. So the more they get, the more they move up. Right now, the top two teams that have the most are Club America and Cruz Azul with 7. And so then we just got to keep paying attention. We're going to be following who's going to qualify for next year's CONCACAF Champions Cup, because that's going to be also very important, and what our predictions are going to look like for that one. So stay tuned, keep liking, keep subscribing. We're here for it all. All right. We'll catch you guys later. Let us know in the comments below what you guys think, and we'll talk about that as well. What are the future predictions going to be? What is MLS going to be? What is it going to look like? Are they finally going to win it next year? There's only one way to find out.
We'll see.
We'll see.
Let us know, guys.
Catch you guys later. Thanks for watching.
See ya.